Right now on News 3, a local community mourns the loss of one of its firefighters killed by an accused drunk driver on New Year's Eve.
And a one-on-one with Governor-elect Tony Evers, what he says he plans to do after taking office in less than a week now.
This is News 3 at 6.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Ceremonies are held today for a local firefighter killed by a suspected drunk driver while trying to help a stranded vehicle on the Beltline on Monday.
He's been credited with saving that woman's life after telling her to get back to safety in her car right before the second crash. Captain Chris Truman was with Lake Mills Fire Department for 13 years. During a press conference this morning, his former colleagues at the department says he will be remembered as someone who was always willing to go out of his way to help someone in need.
Whether it was a formal response out of the station here, or who was somebody, as it was a few days ago on the side of the road who needed help, he was always the guy that would be first up to stand in to provide that help.
Police arrested this man after the crash, 28-year-old Samuel Kremers. He's facing charges of homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. He is in the Dane County Jail waiting for his first court appearance.
We have continuing team coverage of this story tonight. Keely Arthur spoke with the family of Captain Truman. She is live in Monona. Rose Schmidt in Lake Mills, where the department held a special procession. Let's start with Keely, live along the Beltline near where this crash happened. Keely?
Well, it's right behind me where Captain Chris Truman lost his life trying to help someone. And it's that kind of heroism that his family is holding on to during this very dark time.
Although he died for a great reason, I just want him back. And this pain is going to last forever.
Amber Turfel coming to grips with losing her fiance and hero.
I'd always ask him why. Why do you need to stop? There's people coming. And he said, because that's who I am. That's what I do, honey. I'm sorry. We got to stop.
That's exactly what he did Monday. The volunteer fire captain saw a woman stranded on the Beltline that snowy evening. But when he got out to help her, he was struck by another car.
He was an amazing man. He would go out of his way for anyone. He loved what he did. He wouldn't regret ever getting out of that car.
Amber says she doesn't regret Chris's actions either, but she does regret the actions of 28-year-old Samuel Kremers of Columbus, who police say was intoxicated when he hit Chris.
Think twice, call someone, get an Uber. I mean, there's so many other things you can do to prevent this.
Chris was taken to UW Hospital and pronounced dead. He leaves behind Amber and her 3 children, Damian, Lily, and Taylor.
For Chris coming into my life at such a young age, he was always there for me. I didn't have a very good dad in the beginning, but he was definitely one worth keeping, so it's really hard for him to be gone.
The whole family, though, taking some comfort in the fact that Chris Truman died exactly how he lived every day, as a true hero.
That means everything to me because he once said to me, honey, I just want to be remembered as a hero. And he got his wish.
And the family of the woman that Truman tried to help on the Beltline did write the Lake Mills Fire Department a note saying Captain Truman saved their daughter's life and is their angel. Back to you.
Keely Arthur reporting live for us tonight along the Beltline. Keely, thank you.
The head of a Wisconsin nonprofit called Eliminating Drunken Driving says Captain Truman's death was entirely preventable. The organization is run by Marla Hall, who works in Lake Mills, the community where Captain Truman served. Marla's son was killed by a drunk driver in 2016 and says her life will never be the same. She is encouraging people to call Uber, Lyft, a friend or relative if they plan on drinking, and says there's no excuse not to do so.
And this happens way too often. I mean, how many people have to die on Wisconsin roads before Wisconsin does something? We are the only state in the U.S. where a first-time OWI is not a criminal offense.
Marla is working with state lawmakers to make Wisconsin's drunken driving laws stricter. She says they plan to introduce legislation this year that would make first-time OWI offenses into misdemeanors. Fire departments from around Wisconsin are honoring Captain Truman.
And they were there today as he was brought back to his home community in Lake Mills, and that's where News 3's Rose Schmidt joins us now live. Rose?
That's right. The procession started at the Dane County Medical Examiner's office in McFarland and ended here at this funeral home in Lake Mills. Now, when Captain Truman's body when Captain Truman's body arrived here, his friends, family, and firefighters from across Wisconsin were all gathered to honor his service and sacrifice.
I'm sure that every firefighter in this department, it's affected them terrible because Chris was just that type of a person. I mean, everybody loved the guy. He's just unbelievable. So it was a pleasure serving with him.
He was coming to my house that night when we got the call. So it's been difficult.
He's more than a fireman. I mean, he was a great firefighter, but he was just a great person.
The fact that he died helping someone actually means a lot to me because it exemplifies who he was and what he was about. And I think that's just a snapshot of his entire being, is helping someone else out and giving the ultimate sacrifice.
Dealing with the public when we're responding to their crisis, their time of need. You know, the last person on the truck would be Captain Truman.
Thank you for participating and bringing Chris home.
The whole fire department stressed how much Captain Truman cared about the fire service and how much he wanted to get better. They say losing him will create a void here in Lake Mills.
Some very touching moments there in Lake Mills. Rose Schmidt live there tonight. Rose, thank you. And as we learn more about Captain Truman, his legacy, and the man arrested for the crash, be sure to stay with News 3 for the very latest information. You can find it both on air and online at channel3000.com.
Let's turn things over to weather now. Meteorologist Dana Fulton is in the backyard patio with our first alert forecast. Dana.
It is cold outside right now, and the wind starting to pick up just a little bit. Certainly something to factor in with our wind chill this evening. If you do have any plans downtown, though, quite a pretty picture for us, blanketed in snow. Today we hit a high of 25 degrees, close to that average. Same with our overnight low, starting the day close to 19 for us. So again, very chilly outside. And we're going to stay cold as we head overnight. The good news, though, our warming trend is going to kick in here soon enough. Now, today we certainly saw a little more snow moving through. That blob, though, now traveling over into Michigan. We still have a few little isolated flurry spots for us in central and southern Wisconsin, but most of it pretty much out of here at this point. Still pretty cloudy outside, though. Now, we did start the day very cold, close to 4 degrees in Black River Falls, again with those wind chills in the negatives, close to about negative 15 up there today. In Madison, we started at 19, but it felt in the single digits outside this morning. Right now we're at 24, so close to where we were at for our high. We really didn't move around much with that cloud deck overhead. The clouds, though, breaking up overnight. And so we're going to drop just a little more for us as we head into Thursday morning. Our breeze is coming from the southwest, and you can certainly notice it about 9 miles per hour in Madison, 12 in Janesville and in Platteville, and plan on it staying in that 8 to 15 mile per hour range overnight. Tomorrow we'll get some sun in the forecast. It'll be a nice change. High temperatures, though, above average. That's the other change to factor in. Sunshine and warmer weather expected through the rest of the week. We'll take a closer look at that 10-day in just a few minutes.
Dana, thank you. Governor-elect Tony Evers will announce new cabinet picks tomorrow, and we are learning more tonight about just what he plans to put in his state budget after taking the oath of office.
His inauguration just days away now. He sat down with our chief political reporter, Jessica Arp.
What tenets should people look at when you
are
putting this together?
The things that I ran on and things that the people of Wisconsin told me are important: healthcare, transportation, and education. What I proposed as state superintendent, that will be in the budget. A $1.4 billion increase, $600 million of that would be for special education kids. Having a funding system that is fair, and if districts have an inordinate number of either poor kids or English learners, they should get more money. All that would be part of the budget. We will be putting a budget together that has Medicaid expansion in it.
A lot of what you just discussed in the budget that you intend to put together, though, especially that Medicaid expansion, Republican lawmakers have said that's really a non-starter with them. And they're even talking about not even working off your budget, just starting with the base. How do you deal with that?
We're going to be talking to the people of Wisconsin that this is impacting. I know it impacts them as politicians, but There are people, whether it's physicians and hospitals and dentists that want higher reimbursement rates, or whether it's people that feel that they're not getting adequate health care and they should be getting it. All those people will be speaking up, and they will, I believe we will bring a coalition together that will convince people that we need to take that Medicaid expansion.
How concerned should people be that Republican-controlled legislature, Democratic-controlled administration, that we're just going to be at loggerheads for a couple years here?
I think our success is based on returning to some really basic Wisconsin values, like being civil, having good debates, finding common ground, respecting differences. And I know people might say, "Oh my God, he's dreaming." You know, what has Evers been smoking? But the fact of the matter is this: we have to do things for the people of the state of Wisconsin. That's what they expect government to do. They're sick of the political infighting. And you know, I'll use this as a small, but frankly, kind of weird example. If President Trump and Kim Kardashian can come together to create criminal justice reform at the national level, Evers and Walker and Fitzgerald, Evers and Voss and Fitzgerald should be able to do that here.
Evers said he was hopeful that transportation funding could be the first major compromise made between his administration and Republican lawmakers.
But also told the Associated Press in an interview that he would consider vetoing the entire state budget if Republicans completely ignored his spending plan. Still ahead tonight, some local school closures for tomorrow following a water main break.
And an agreement comes to fruition. A $2 billion local deal is finalized. You're watching News 3 at 6. Welcome back. The man accused of killing and hiding the body of a Sun Prairie man early last year has pleaded guilty to one of the charges against him.
Today, 60-year-old Daniel Leeske pleaded guilty to hiding the body of 21-year-old Jesse Faber. However, he will still go to trial next week for another charge, first-degree intentional homicide. Prosecutors said Leeske shot Faber and hid his body in Rio, which is about 30 miles from where he was last seen in Marshall. In Dodge County tonight, deputies are trying to determine if two reports of shots being fired are connected. Early Tuesday morning, a home, shed, and truck were all hit by gunfire on County Road W near Buckhorn Road. 45 minutes later, deputies received another report of shots being fired just north of Buckhorn Road near County Road C. Deputies say they did not find any bullets and there were no reports of damage.
Spectrum Brands, headquartered in Middleton, has officially sold its Rayovac battery and lighting business to Energizer. Back in 2018, Spectrum Brands announced it had this deal to sell the business to Energizer. Now, according to a release today, the company announced the $2 billion sale has now been finalized. A scheduling note for tomorrow: school closing in Oregon. Netherwood Knoll Elementary, Prairie View Elementary will both be closed. That's due to a water main break. All after-school activities at the Oregon Community Pool have also been canceled for tomorrow. The district hoping to have the problem fixed in time for school again on Friday.
Still ahead tonight in sports, with the end of the season, the Packers' hunt for a new head coach officially begins. Find out who is on that list.
But first, we had more snow falling out there today, but we are monitoring a possible warm-up in time for the weekend. Dana will have her full forecast when we return.
Meteorologist Dana Fulton joins us now with a look at our cool forecast.
So today, of course, we are close to average. It's a little chilly outside right now, and factoring in the wind chill, it does feel quite cold. But the good news, we are kicking off a bit of a warming trend for the next several days. Our temperatures expected to climb quite a bit by the end of the week. We'll be close to 40 degrees. Our sky's also clearing up. Right now, we're still mostly cloudy, but as we get into tomorrow morning, plan on a partly cloudy sky and then finally mostly sunny throughout your Thursday. And that's going to stick with us as we get into Friday, Saturday, and maybe even early Sunday. Not all day Sunday, though. As far as the snowfall sticking around, plan on that at least through tomorrow. But as our temperatures warm up, the thinner snow, of course, may start to wash off. And then as we get into Sunday, that's when our next system is going to come in, and the rain, not exactly a friend of the snow on the ground. Looking at our Doppler track, the good news for us, that light snow that we had today now shifting completely out of here. There are a few isolated flurry spots, and wouldn't be surprised if you maybe see a few snowflakes swirling around tonight, but not expecting anything else major to move into the area for us overnight or into tomorrow, especially as those clouds clear out, along with all of that snowfall moving through. Off to the west, we have a warm front that's going to be sliding right on overhead as we get into tomorrow. And that warm front, of course, bringing warmer air for us for the end of the week. And you can really see the dividing line with our surface temperatures. It was a little brighter earlier just before sunset, but there we've got a little lighter green color, temperatures closer to the 30s. And on this side, of course, into Minnesota and Wisconsin, we're closer to the 20s right now and in the upper teens for our temperatures currently. So we are going to see just about a 10-degree warm up for our afternoon highs as that front slides over. And we're going to continue to have that warmer air move in through the rest of the week with our southerly flow continuing heading into the weekend. Overnight tonight, we will drop into the teens as our skies clear up. It'll be a little cool outside to start off the day, but the good news for our afternoon, it is going to be a little more mild. Afternoon highs will be in the mid-30s close to Madison, mid to upper 30s though along the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Overnight heading into Friday, we're still fairly clear outside, and then Friday afternoon do plan on temperatures climbing close to 40 degrees, believe it or not, near Madison, and again in the low 40s the further south you go. Our above average trend here really covers most of the country and just centered right over Wisconsin and Illinois. That area expecting to see temperatures quite a bit above average, a very likely chance to see temps above average. And then as we get 8 to 14 days out, that trend starts to back down just a little bit, but still really centered right on over us in the Midwest. Looking ahead, outside of that 8 to 14 days, we'll slowly start to cool back down, but we are expecting temperatures to continue to stay warm, at least through that 10-day period. Overnight tonight, again, we are in the teens, becoming partly cloudy. By the time we get into tomorrow morning, tomorrow will be mostly sunny. A little breezy outside with our wind speeds anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour, but it won't be as cold. We'll be in the mid-30s for afternoon highs. In the 40s, though, here fairly soon. Close to 40 by Friday, low 40s for us on Saturday with sunshine. And then again, heading into Sunday night, that's when our next big system is going to come in, bringing a bit of a mix of rain and snow showers overnight. By Monday, we'll see rain during the day, but it may mix overnight again before wrapping up on Tuesday.
The Packers head coaching search hits high gear this week, and this guy is certainly one of the names at the top of their list. The story's coming up in sports.
Hello, I'm Jamie Perez. Tonight on the news at 9, NASA is releasing new images today of the most distant object ever explored by humans. We'll give you a look at those images tonight on Fox 47.
The Packers' search for a new head coach picks up this week, and it's starting with current interim head coach Joe Philbin. He gets to make his case to Packers management before it heads on the road at the end of the week. Now, the first stop will be New England to talk with Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels. He's been a head coach already with the Denver Broncos. He was also announced as the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts last February, but then pulled out on the same day to return to New England. Still, McDaniels thought to be a strong candidate to coach the Packers or anyone else. After the Packers interview McDaniels Friday, they'll head to New Orleans to interview Saints assistant head coach Dan Campbell. The Packers have also requested to speak with Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur, probably Sunday. They've already interviewed former NFL head coaches Jim Caldwell and Chuck Pagano. Only one more game left in the College Bowl season. That's the national championship game next Monday at Santa Clara, California, when Alabama plays Clemson. Big Ten wrapped up a 5-4 bowl season last night when Ohio State held on to win the Rose Bowl 28-23 over Washington. Also marked the end of Urban Meyer's tenure as Buckeyes head coach. Like him or not, Meyer's record in 7 years at Ohio State, 83 wins, 9 losses. As we said, Big Ten went 5-4 in bowl games, but the Big Ten West Division went 4-1, including the Badgers' 35-3 win over Miami in the Pinstripe Bowl last Thursday. So Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, and Northwestern all won bowl games, while Purdue was the only West Division team to lose a bowl game, and boy, did they ever. 63-14 to Auburn. The Badger men's basketball team resumes Big Ten play tomorrow night when Minnesota's at the Kohl Center for an 8 o'clock tip. The Badgers are coming off a rough road trip to Western Kentucky, losing 76-69 last Saturday. But it's those kind of tough non-conference games that can pay dividends during the rough and tumble Big Ten schedule, which is now a 20-game season instead of 18. Greg Gard says his guys are ready to go.
They understand now we jump into the meat and the primary goal of our season, which is, a race at a run at a Big Ten championship. So we know every game's going to be competitive. We know how this league is going to be. That's been nationally well documented.
I mean, you obviously want to treat all games the same way, but you know when you come into the Big Ten, it's going to be a little tougher, a little rougher, and it's nice that we're starting off at home. But we're lucky to be 2-0, and we feel good about that in the Big Ten so far. So we want to continue that.
We're really excited about our next Prep Mania game of the week on Channel3000.com Friday night. Madison East is now ranked #1 in the state in Division I on the WISCSports.net boys basketball poll. They'll host La Follette Friday night. We'll have it live for you on Channel3000.com at 7:15 p.m. And Mean Gene Okerlund died in Sarasota, Florida today. You may not know his name, but you may recognize him as that longtime interviewer on some of the biggest moments in professional wrestling history. Mean Gene, as he was known, interviewed Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Macho Man Savage in the early years of the WWF, now known as WWE. Now, that's my era. Andre the Giant.
I remember that.
He was rather large.
Yeah, Crusher.
He put his whole hand over Mean Gene's head.
Aaron Von Raschke with the claw hole. Well, you're much too young.
That's a little older than I was. I remember Mean Gene, though. That'd be missed. All right, Dana, final check.
So we're looking at a warm-up, actually, over the next several days. We'll have sunshine for tomorrow. That'll continue into Friday and Saturday. Temps will be in the 40s by this weekend, with our next big system coming in late Sunday night.
All right, Dana, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.